you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am sorry I've been MIA again. You guys, I'm just having a hard time being consistent. I don't know why, but I will keep on trying again and again and again, and hopefully at some point a couple of weeks from now we can get into our regular scheduling like before. So in this one we are going to talk about assertiveness and how to stop being passive aggressive. Now, like most things I talk about on this channel, I do have personal experience with this. I used to be extremely passive aggressive, and in this one I'm going to share with you, how I went from there to, we can all be passive aggressive at time. I'm not even going to sit here and lie. A stranger who bump into you in the street without saying sorry, of course you give them like are you crazy look, but generally I would say a good 80% of the time I'm not passive aggressive anymore. But before that, let's just describe what passive aggressiveness is. Now, I'm sure most of you guys know this if you click on the video, but let's just quickly go through it. So being passive aggressive would be like, let's say a man is taking you out on a date, and let's say, like me, you are a bougie black girl, you do fancy restaurants only, whether you go out by yourself or with friends. So obviously you would expect the same from dates. So he takes you to this restaurant that look really disheveled already from the outside, and some of these restaurants need to work on marketing, because if a place look really disheveled on the outside already, then you don't really feel like going in. And it could be a good place, I mean, the food could be good, but the fact that it just looks disheveled from the outside would, kind of make most people stay away from it, right? So it looks disheveled from the outside, but they all go in, and it looks even worse on the inside. And instead of telling him, Cash, you know what, I am not really a fan of this type of places. I'm not really this kind of girl. Even when I go out by myself or with my friends, we only go to nice places. So if this is the best you have to offer, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to go home. I have some tagliatelle and salmone that I can eat there and I'll be just fine. Instead of saying that, you just roll with it, you go along with it, you smile painfully through it, and then you order something, and as your food comes, you're eating it, and making faces, like clearly showing with your face that you are displeased with the place and with the environment and with the food and everything. And that would be one example of being passive aggressive. I could go on and on and on and on, but that would just be semantics, and you guys get the gist, right? And for me personally, I genuinely believe that passive aggressiveness is rooted in the self-belief that your authentic self is not enough, that you will not be liked anymore, you will not be loved anymore by people if you show up as your authentic self. Like perhaps as a child, expressing displeases was not something that your family, your caretakers were open to, and then you constantly had to go along to get along. And generally, usually this is where passive aggressiveness come from. So it could also stem from an abandonment issue. So perhaps you grew up like without a dad or without a parent in the home. Perhaps you were in the system, so you were taken from families to families, and every time you went into a new family you had to adapt to them because they were not adapting to you, and you didn't really have a choice. You were a child that needing your need met. Perhaps you were bullied or rejected a lot as a child, so now you suffer from the pathological need to be liked. But in my experience, generally this is where passive aggressiveness comes from. Passive aggressive people are generally people with a lower sense of self-esteem, who are dead afraid that if they show up as the authentic self, so if they express displeases, actually I don't really like that, don't talk to me like that, I don't think I can do that for you. They're afraid that people are not gonna like them anymore, people are not gonna love them anymore, so they go along to get along, and then obviously they get resentful, which we all would if we were going along with things we don't like, and then it shows out in other ways. Now I'm going to be 100 with y'all and say that you're not crazy. Like some people out here are genuinely gonna cease communicating with you if you don't go along with them, with what they think, if you don't always agree with what they want to do. That's just reality. But here's what I want you to ask yourself: are they really lost? Because people who have a problem, an issue with boundaries, are in my opinion, they are no loss. Okay, if you lose these people, you know, throw yourself a party, drink some wine and twerk. Okay, because people who only like you when you do what they want you to do are not actually people who genuinely like you or genuinely love you. These are people who want to control you. And again, this is very real. I can recall of many instances where I had friends, or really they were more acquaintances, when we'd had a conversation on the phone and I'd say, you know, I would kind of disagree with them. You know, they would stop calling. You know, this were people who would call, for example, every day. You know, they wouldn't call for like 2 days to show me how displeased they were with me disagreeing with them. You know, so this is a real thing, right? I'm not gonna lie, you're not crazy. You know, your fear of people not wanting to be in contact with you anymore, not wanting to be your friend anymore because you don't want to do what they want you to do, whether it's borrow them money, babysit their kids for free, etc., yada yada yada, semantics, right? You know your situation better than I do, right? But that fear is very real. I mean, it's rooted in reality. Okay, this is a very real possibility. There are people out here who won't like you anymore if you cease doing what they want you to do. But I say, go ahead and do you anyway. Go ahead and, you know, express those boundaries anyways. Go ahead and be assertive anyways, because these people are no loss. Okay, you deserve people around you, friends around you who are going to be supportive, you know, no matter what. Now, I don't mean if you abuse them and stuff like that, but, you know, you just being your authentic self, you choosing you doing what's best for you should not be a problem for other people. At the end of the day, you know, it's the you show. I always say in life, you know, like we are all, you know, floating on a rock, but there is the Manetta show, you know, I am Manetta, and then there's the Agnes show, and then there is the Eden show, and then, you know, there is the whatever your name is, Mary, Samantha, Emily, you know, okay? So we all have our own shows, and we are all the main character in our own shows, and other people are, you know, figurants in our show. Now, some figurants, like in movies, have a more prominent role, some, you know, have a more like withdrawn role, but at the end of the day, you know, this is your show, and nobody get to walk into your show and be, you know, the lead actress or the lead actor in your show. That's not how this works. Okay, this is your movie, okay? And you prioritizing yourself, doing what's best for you. If you have something other to do than watch your sister's kids, oh well, it is what it is, okay? And if she can't take that, oh well, sucks to be her, okay? Like, don't be overly concerned with what other people think. I always tell you guys, don't seek validation from other people, because, you know, you're not a parking ticket at the end of the day, okay? Validation is for parking, and you are not a parking ticket. So stop seeking other people's approval and validation. Be assertive about what you want, about what you need. And if you're not getting that, reassess the relationship. And if anybody has a problem with you prioritizing your wants and your need, consider cutting them off. Again, you guys, be extremely mindful of people who can't take no for an answer, of people who, you know, are very dismissive of boundaries. Because usually, you know, one thing I've noticed actually about the people, perhaps this is, I mean, most likely this is an anecdotal experience since it's my own experience, but I've seen that there are a lot of extremely boundary people out here who do not like at all to respect other people's boundary. You know, I was dealing with someone like this a couple of weeks ago. Like, they were extremely boundaried. Okay, if you were talking to them on the phone and they need to go, they're like, okay, I need to go, bye, and then they would just hang up on you. But, you know, when I needed to go and I said, okay, you know, I need to go, I can't talk to you anymore for now, they'd be like, where are you going, what are you doing? And then, you know, oh, let's talk about this and let's talk about that. Like, ma'am, I just told you I had to go, you know. Or people who express an opinion, and if you disagree with them, they be like, what, don't you agree? Like, isn't that what I just said, ma'am? I said what I said, okay? Like, I'll say it again, and I meant what I said. So I guess what I'm saying here, you guys, is say what you mean and mean what you say, and don't be too afraid of, you know, what the consequences, so-called, are going to be. I understand that, you know, we are all anxious to a certain extent. We are human beings, and we all desire to belong. We all want to be loved. We all, you know, want to be liked. But, you know, don't, because you want to be liked, like, don't let your need to be like be pathological, I guess is what I'm saying here. You know, don't be a nice person. You know, be kind, be genuinely kind, but don't be nice. You know, like, synonyms of nice are agreeable, and I always say agreeable for what? Okay, don't be nice, you know, be kind. You know, it's okay to do favors here and there from time to time if you feel like it, but don't be overly agreeable just, you know, to keep the peace, just so the other person won't be upset. I always say, you know, if I have to choose between me being upset and you being upset, this is the easy choice. Okay, I'm going to choose you being upset every single time. Okay, and that's on Mary and the Lame. Okay, because like I said, this is the Manera show. Okay, get into it. Now, I also want you guys to, you know, really reflect on when it is or what it is that made you feel really inadequate as a child. Perhaps, you know, how being abandoned perhaps by your father made you feel, or how being bullied or being rejected a lot made you feel. And, you know, talk to yourself. Like, you can journal this. You know, I'm this way, I'm a people pleaser, I'm not very assertive because XYZ happened to me when I was 8 years old. And, you know, usually this is a repeated theme, right? People don't usually become like extremely passive if what happened to them didn't happen to them over and over and over again. So usually someone who was rejected just once or something is not very likely, I think, to, you know, develop like pathologic passive aggressiveness. But if you're rejected a lot, bullied a lot, then you are more likely to develop this pathology. It truly is one, in my opinion, right? So journal about it and get in the habit of talking to yourself. So when you are in a in the environment, when you are in a situation where you feel yourself, you know, trying to be kind of passive and, you know, trying to go along, or, you know, kind of trying to people please, you know, remind yourself that you're not a child anymore. Remind yourself you will survive, you know, ground yourself, put both your feet on the, you know, on the ground and press them down, and remind yourself, I'm okay now, I'm safe now, I live in my own apartment now, you know, no one can throw me out. If this is something you've experienced, I pay my own bills, you know, I would be fine with or without these people. Remind yourself of that, you know, find the mirror and talk to yourself. You guys, true confidence is not they will like me, you know. Genuine confidence is I will be fine even if they don't. Okay, so remind yourself of that truth, that reality. No matter who this person is, no matter what they may mean to you, you'll be fine without them. Listen, the graveyard is full of people that we once thought of as indispensable, so you'll be fine, whoever this person may be to you, whether they're your best friend or whatever. Trust and believe you can survive without them. Trust also and believe, be hopeful, you guys. Trust and believe you will find your tribe. You know, for the longest I was a lone wolf. I didn't have anybody, and the few people I had around me, you know, were not really people that I could trust. You know, people please a lot, you know, for them or around them or for their approval and stuff. And once I genuinely decided to put the work and heal and stuff, you know, the universe sent me so many people who are similar to me. Okay, not so many, that would be a lie, but, you know, I do know 4 or 5 people that I can count on, that I can depend on, that I can rely on, and, you know, who are accepting of the flawed person that I am. You know, I don't have to be perfect around them, I don't have to mind my every word around them, I don't have to measure my words, I don't have to walk on eggshell and be, you know, so anxious that I'm gonna say something and they're not gonna like me, or they're gonna discard me or anything. So also be hopeful that, you know, God or the universe, whatever you believe in, is going to send you your authentic, you know, tribe and people who can take your full authentic self. I'm sorry, you guys, this video was more of a ramble, to be honest. It was all over the place and I apologize for that. But if you got the gist of it, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. I am praying for you in this holiday season. Those of you who are lonely and who feel the need to people please, my heart goes out to you. You know, I'm sending light your way. I hope that, you know, you can heal from the things that you tell nobody about. Please stay hopeful. Okay, 2024 is going to be an amazing year for you. I'm putting it in the universe for you. Okay, do not forget to comment in the comment section down below. Let me know, what are your thoughts on this, you know, ramble. What do you think about assertiveness versus passive aggressiveness? Were you passive aggressive? Did you used to be that? How did you, you know, how were you able to overcome that? If you have dealt with that in the past, or if you're dealing with it right now, how are you overcoming it? And do not forget to subscribe to my channel as well, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye guys. Mwah.